Hey y'all, how's it going? So I have my overnight highs here, my overnight lows down here. I'm trading the S&P 500 futures on a 2000 tick chart with a 21 EMA. So over here, we start off, price had this downtrend break, two legs to a new low. It's clearly on a bigger picture, this whole leg would just be one leg down, even with the breaks, but it's clear that this trend line is here. It did break and then have two pushes down to a new low. And then we made the new low. That ended up forming the overnight lows. We rushed above the EMA, and I like this trade here because it's a big picture failed second entry. And so immediately after this downtrend having a break and two pushes to a new low, price rushes above the EMA, and you get first entry short, second entry short, failure. So it's a big picture failed second entry. It's not just to the tick. You have to use trend lines and breaks and all that. EMA is holding well. It's a reversal pattern. I really like this trade. We push higher, so as soon as this downtrend plays out with a break and two pushes to a new low, we go into this uptrend here. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this trap. So this is just a higher low. The downtrend did just play out. We have a big spike pushing into the EMA, but price did find resistance, and then it could barely close back above. You just want to see a better reversal pattern, especially when the downtrend looks so strong and the move to new low was so thin and it looks like it could be one move. You want a really good entry on the reversal, and that's not it. That's clearly resisting the EMA. So we go into this uptrend. We find this other trap up here. I feel like a lot of people would take this. It's a second entry long off the key entry point, but it didn't reach the EMA, and I would want it to reach the EMA. I would just view this as one leg and then a break, second leg, rather than first entry long, second entry long. It's first entry long, second entry long. But even here, it gets very choppy. You're closing below the EMA. It's rejecting the EMA even. And then by the time it does close back above, it's extremely choppy. It's not very good looking. So this uptrend gets a break. We have a couple pushes at a new high. It's like a breakout pullback right here, but I'm not a big fan of it. We rushed back in. We rejected the highs of this range, but we were also rejecting the EMA at the same time. It's just a confusing area. We already made a new high. We could make a second attempt, but I don't like how it's already rejecting the range highs, so I just didn't take anything there. We push higher again. On a bigger picture, I could see that as one leg and then a break, second leg. So uptrend break, two legs to a new high. We could definitely get this range here because I got this double bottom, raised it to the highs, reacted pretty well here. So I liked this. I liked this range that we were in. And then I did try to extend this uptrend a couple times, but then it broke pretty fast. And then when I did extend it to here, eventually it broke immediately as well. So I ended up kind of leaving it out. But we have this uptrend break, a couple attempts at a new high. We're at a new high. We clearly are in this range. The lows fit really well there. I'll delete that just to unclutter things. And then we're at the measured move. You can see this measured move line. As soon as we got past the measured move, price rushed below, trying to hold on the measured move. It's trying to reverse. Now it did hold above the EMA here, except I still liked going short because the context rules over the setup. It's not a perfect setup. So there's the trend line. You have room to the lows of the trend line. I really like that. So you have room to the lows of the trend line. Reversing after a measured move was met. I would rather go with the context than the setup, the fact it's holding above the EMA. The context is so strong, considering it's a measured move right after a failed break. So I do like that. We go into this thin downtrend here. It's pretty thin. You can eventually extend it a little bit. And then it has a break, push to a new low, but it's right into the range lows. You can't take any shorts here because you have this massive spike higher and you don't have any good entry like a uptrend break and then an attempt higher or anything. No good setups here before you just rush into the lows. You go into this bigger downtrend here, and so we have this slight overshoot, leads to a break. It kind of held a little bit, but it broke, pushed lower, and then it completely broke here. And then we have this uptrend going higher, and so on the third bounce, we actually get a third bounce here. The highs fit as well. First entry short, second entry short, failure. So it's a failed second entry, big picture. EMA is holding. Now, it did close mostly below the EMA, but it's basically a trap. It ticked lower than that bar, closed higher, closed above the tick of the last bar. And it's a big picture failed second entry, and on an even bigger picture, it's a higher low, because this is a higher low than the daily higher low, and then you're confirming it with a failed second entry. So I liked that to ride it to the highs of this channel, and we were fading this range. I didn't mind going into it, but anyway, we go into this downtrend. We do start to reject off the range. We have this lower high, closes below the EMA, but then I marked this right here as a trap, this long, and it's because, one, it's not just because it's into the channel here after we already rejected, or sorry, it's not just because it's into the range here even though we already are starting to reject the range. It's, you have uptrend, break, first attempt higher, you're expecting to make the second attempt higher, you would want to make that holding above the EMA, not rushing below. That just means that this breakout pullback is more likely to be successful. Now this lower high, I did miss it, but I do actually like this lower high. I don't have it marked. I should mark it right now. Oh yeah, that reminds me. I just wanted to mention about this trade right here. This trade I did not even get my order filled on. It was like right when I was starting, and so I couldn't. This is not a trade I got into. But my favorite trade of the day is this one. So anyway, I kind of got sidetracked there. I forgot what I was talking about. But oh yeah, I was just mentioning I didn't take that one. So I like this lower high right here. I do like it because it's good context. You're bouncing off the range. It's a breakout pullback of the range. You know, first attempt to fade, second attempt to fade, and then the lower high after that. It's a trap of this, you know, long entry because people are going to take this expecting to make the second attempt higher here. And then you're taking the trap if you take a short here. So I do like this short. But I did miss that, so that's unfortunate. But we go into this downtrend. We have first entry long, second entry long, failure. It's a big picture, failed second entry again. Now, here's the thing. This measured move right here, my target was to the measured move, so it didn't reach the measured move. I didn't want to go for more. I didn't want to go down to the channel highs. This failed second entry was after this measured move. I was expecting it to work anyway. But this failed second entry is part of a measured move, and I wouldn't want to push it past the measured move. Because once the measured move is met, it's like it could reverse, it could go higher. But if you're making the measured move, it could bounce straight off the measured move. So I would want to, you know, at this point, the measured move is completed here. This one, I would be worried about it bouncing straight off of it, which it does temporarily. But I just wanted to get out before the measured move. It's a big picture, failed second entry. You kind of have this congestion, breakout, pullback. I like that entry. It's definitely a good context entry. The signal bar could have been better, but the context is really good. You're getting a bearish imbalance. You know, it's like this is a lower high for this on a big picture, and then you're taking a little failed second entry under it. If you went to a smaller time frame chart, and then all of these would look like just a few bars, this would just be a lower high and then a small failed second entry, just like we see, you know, on smaller pictures here every day, like right here. But anyway, so yeah, what we see here, downtrend break, failed second entry, we would see on this here, downtrend break, failed second entry. So anyway, we push lower, we do get down to the lows of the range, and here we make this double bottom. So we have this new low here, we push higher, we make the double bottom, we're trying to reverse from this downtrend. Downtrend has a break, couple legs down to a new low. We're trying to reverse higher, rush above the EMA, but then it can't hardly stay above the EMA. It rushes back below. We hold below, it starts holding below, and then we have first attempt at a new high, second attempt at a new high. And so I have this trap marked, and then this is my entry here. So this uptrend has a break, first attempt higher, second attempt higher, failure, downtrend, break, first attempt lower, second attempt lower. So it's a big picture, failed second entry. First entry long, second entry long, failure. Now, why would you not want to take this one? So a lot of times whenever I show things like this, people say, how did you know not to take this one right here, right before it? And so it's about the size of the legs. So, well, partially why. So we have this new low here. It's making this double bottom. It's trying to take off from here. So this uptrend has a break. It needs 2 attempts at a new high. I want it to be confluent with this uptrend. So this uptrend has a break. I want 2 attempts at a new high. Now, that second attempt at a new high is not very significant because this is a clear first attempt, a break, and then it's just like one bar. It's almost nothing compared to this first move. But then when you get those two attempts, because when you get those two attempts, it makes one bigger attempt. So, and that's extremely common. And then it did make a new low and have an even bigger attempt. So it's really just about the size. It's like first attempt, second attempt, just to reach the second one. Because on an even smaller picture, you could see it as uptrend, break, first attempt higher, second attempt higher, failure. So uptrend, break, first attempt higher, second attempt higher. Look at it on a smaller picture, you see uptrend, break, first attempt higher, second attempt higher. So there is that. It's just about the size. You want it to be bigger. A lot of times it'll not even just about the length of the bars, really. It's just about how wide they go out and how many there are. It's clearly more significant. That's what I like about that. And then just get out before the lows, because you wouldn't want to push it below those lows, because clearly, there is some support there. Once, twice, it could hold a third time. But yeah, that's how I get that trade. Uptrend, break, first attempt higher, second attempt higher, failure. Big picture, failed second entry with room down to those lows there. We push lower, we break out. Most breakouts fail. You get first entry short, second entry short, failure. It's not a perfect setup, but it works. We get to the middle of the range, and then we rush back below. There's really no good, I don't see any good shorts or longs in here. It just gets very choppy and confusing. And then we're just now reaching the overnight lows again right here. So yeah. Yep, that's going to do it for this video, and yeah, we'll see you all next time. Oh wait, before I do that, actually, I do want to quickly point out, so this downtrend, it's like you have, for this trade right here, I forgot, in just part of the thought process of this one and this one right here was this, because we had downtrend, break, first attempt lower, second attempt lower, and then this one right here this trade was expected to complete this first small measured move, but then kind of like that on a big picture, just showing this for the thought process of at the time, we have this bigger measured move in play, and part of the reasoning for this trade is to complete this bigger measured move. So just wanted to quickly share that before I forgot to mention it. Anyway, so that's going to be it. Y'all have a good one. Thanks for watching.